You want to see the universe just giving us the most hilarious gift at a Trump rally? That's what I have for you here. We will get into responding to a bunch of clips from Trump's rally, from also the Harris rally that's running parallel to this. I think that's an interesting split screen to see a much more rational world taking place at the Harris rally versus what's going on in North Carolina with Trump. But before getting to the broader review of those clips, you have to see something spectacular happening. Trump has never recovered mentally from Vice President Harris at the debate mocking his crowd sizes and people leaving his crowds. I say so often, it's not an important thing. If people leave, but they still support you politically, doesn't matter. But Trump puts so much emphasis on these very surface level things. And so this has become a thing that Harris mocks him for at a rally. Some people heckled her, and she said, "Oh, I think you're at the wrong rally. There's a smaller one down the street," and stuff like that, just to get in Trump's head, because then he rants more in an unhinged way and reveals who he is, which is not someone who's stable enough to be president. So there's the caveat. Here's the clip of Trump saying, "No one leaves my rallies," while someone right behind him is leaving his rally.
People would tell me they watch the rallies from Europe. Everybody watches our rallies. Everybody loves our rallies. We never have an empty seat. They try and demean us like that horrible, horrible person that I debated where she said, "And people leave early." Nobody leaves early. If I saw them leaving early, you know what I would say? "And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And make America great again," and I'd leave. Right? That way they could, but I've never had to do that. I'm very capable of doing that, you know?
It's too perfect. Someone's leaving from right behind him. While we continue through this segment, please make sure you have clicked the subscribe button. We are hoping to do something unbelievable, inconceivable, and get to 1 million subscribers by Election Day. You can make it happen. Now, because of Trump ranting about this at rallies, as I've told you before, people then take note of when, for example, I think this was from his recent Atlanta rally, there are tons of empty seats.
And importantly, at taxpayer expense, by the way. And she lied about working at McDonald's. She never worked at McDonald's.
A bunch of empty seats, which again is not the sole determining factor of support. And he's had ginormous rallies, absolutely, but it's about how easy it is to get in his head. This moment plays on repeat every single day
instead of fixing a problem. And I'll tell you something, he's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first, and I pledge to you that I will.
He didn't get over it during that debate. He hasn't gotten over it since. And it's the perfect example of how easy to manipulate Trump is. Do you want that as a president? Because except for his hardcore supporters, everyone winces when he goes, "No one leaves, no one leaves." And then he prompts reporting, I think it was from the Washington Post, New York Times, where they would go to his rallies and count how many people within the first few minutes of the speech would leave. And it just becomes, it seems so obviously a bad strategic play to show how much you care about this particular metric of support. Before getting into even more from that rally and Harris's rally, I do want to show you an ad that has dropped from the Harris campaign that comes from her speech at the Ellipse, where Trump delivered his January 6th speech in front of the White House. She delivered a speech there, a very powerful one, summed up by this.
Nearly 250 years ago, America was born when we wrested freedom from a petty tyrant. Across the generations, Americans have preserved that freedom, expanded it, and in so doing, proved to the world that a government of, by, and for the people is strong and can endure. And those who came before us, they did not struggle, sacrifice, and lay down their lives only to see us cede our fundamental freedoms to the will of another petty tyrant. So America, in 7 days, we have the power to turn the page and start writing the next chapter in the most extraordinary story ever told.
Quite the event. I'm glad that's where she chose to do what was described as her closing argument event. A very different message coming from Trump events. Here is this.
He knows more about computers than anybody I've ever met, and I know some pretty smart people. I had an uncle that was at MIT, a professor for 41 years, the longest serving professor ever. I have that, it's something in my blood about that. Elon knows more about computers than anybody there is. Every time
I hate to say it, you don't learn about computers through your blood. I can tell you that for sure. Then Trump argued against this straw man we've been hearing Republicans say. We talked about how Piers Morgan is so fixated, and he brought it up during my appearance. He brought it up during the recent Mehdi Hassan debate, and he's obsessed with believing the big argument from relevant, powerful Democrats is that Trump is Hitler, that he's the new Hitler. You can't call him the new Hitler. Who's calling him that? No one who is relevant, no one who's a powerful Democrat, definitely not Kamala Harris, is saying Trump is Hitler. Stop strawmanning the argument. Engage with the actual argument, which is that Trump proactively brings up around people, according to General John Kelly, who was his longest serving chief of staff, that he wants generals like Hitler had, or he thinks Hitler did some good things, or Trump's enamored, like he exhibits publicly, with the dictatorial powers of past and present dictators. If you don't want to engage with that and you want to reduce it all to people are just saying he's Hitler, then you're not seriously discussing what we're discussing, and it's getting really upsetting. Trump had to clarify that he's not Hitler. Okay.
You know, many years ago, I had a father who was a great guy. He was a strong guy, a legitimate guy, strong. But, you know, he always used to tell me, never use the word Nazi and never use the word Hitler. Now we're called Nazis, and I'm called Hitler. I'm not Hitler. Boy, my father, he's looking.
I would be very confused. I would have been very confused as a child if one of my parents just randomly said, never use the word Nazi. Never use the word Hitler. What do you mean? Never call someone that? What if I come across an actual Nazi? Then can I call them that? Never discuss history? I don't know what you're talking about. Strange little anecdote there. Some people have brought this up. Just, it's weird when Trump brings up the Nazi thing and his dad's advice that this headline will recirculate from the Washington Post. In 1927, Donald Trump's father was arrested as a part of a KKK riot in Queens. But there definitely is some unclear. There's questions about what exactly was happening, and that was so long ago. So it's hard to tell based on the records there of what exactly happened, to be fair. But definitely a strange little connection there people are making because Trump keeps bringing that up within the context of this discussion. Then Trump has been really upset about Michelle Obama lately.
And we're not going to let them divide and destroy America any longer. And that goes for Barack Hussein Obama, too. He's a divider. He's a divider. And Michelle, oh, she said bad things about me. Michelle got out there the other day. Oh, I've been very nice to her. I guess that means I don't have to be nice anymore. Right? Oh, I'm looking forward to this. No, Obama was a great divider. He was a great, great divider.
It is something else to accuse the Obamas of being divisive. If they're the great dividers, what does that make you, Donald? And to circle back, because it seems MAGA's brains just melt every time the Nazi conversation comes up. We're just asking that Trump stop saying phrases that directly echo that of past dictators. We're not saying he is anyone or is exactly like anyone or is equivalent to anyone. We're asking you to notice that he uses kind of dangerous rhetoric. How do we know it's dangerous? Let's look at history. For you to over that is really strange. Really, really strange. Then Trump gets onto the topic of President Joe Biden's controversial garbage remarks that he clarified, but have led to quite the debacle. I discussed that already. If that sentence is what he meant about Trump supporters being garbage, I disagree with it. And so does every Democrat who's been asked. But if he meant the thing he clarified, which was, I just mean the rhetoric coming from Tony Hinchcliffe, a supporter of Trump's, the rhetoric about other people being garbage, I think that's the garbage, then it's not what people are making it out to be. I understand the way he worded it sounded like the former. But here is Trump then on his high horse pretending like he doesn't constantly say much more horrific things than Biden has ever even slipped up to say.
Joe Biden's comments were the direct result of Kamala's and Tim Walz, you know? You know who that is? His decision to portray everyone who isn't voting for them as evil or subhuman. You're not subhuman. I'm looking at you. You are not subhuman. And we know it's what they believe because look how they've treated you. They've treated you like garbage, frankly. They've treated you like garbage. You know what? The truth is they've treated our whole country like garbage, whether they meant to or not, because they're grossly incompetent people, and they've destroyed our country.
Yeah, how dare they come into office, fix all the problems I left for them, and now real wages are surging, and people's purchasing power is stronger than it was when they came into office, and we've addressed all the issues that were causing prices to go up so fast because of pandemic conditions, and we've made people safer than they've been in a really long time based on crime data, and we've passed a bunch of legislation, much of which invests in rural communities, specifically helping voters that vote for Trump. How dare they? Ugh. They just treat us like trash. I'm sick of it. Let me see if I can get to this other. Yeah, here's more of Trump's response.
Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage. And they mean it. Even though, without question, my supporters are far higher quality than Crooked Joe or Lion Kamala.
Imagine he goes, it's not my supporters who are garbage, it's theirs. Wait, I'm confused. I thought you said it was bad to say such a thing.
My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just
I told you I was going to stay happy today, so I'm not going to let that get under my skin. All I will say is, I am so mad. I'm just mad, frankly, about Biden calling his political opponents vermin. Oh, no, that was Trump. I'm so mad that Biden refers to his political opponents as the enemy from within. Oh, no, that's Trump. Sorry, I'm getting confused. I'm so mad that Biden refers to the supporters of Trump as fascist, communist, socialist, Marxist. brain damaged, demented, sick. Oh, no, wait, that's Trump. I'm sorry. I'm so discombobulated this morning. And I'm so happy that Trump, after saying those terrible things about Harris supporters, immediately issued a clarification to specify that he didn't mean it about Harris supporters. Oh, wait, no, that was Biden. Trump never apologizes. Trump never clarifies that he's not talking about all of those who support Harris. Crazy, crazy times, huh? Then this.
Kamala made a speech, not much of one, with a paid-for audience, and all she talked about was Donald Trump.
That's just not even close to true. I showed you the part of the speech, and we looked at clips yesterday, and there was a lot to it, including the person that she's running against, which makes a lot of sense. And he accused Vice President Harris there of paying audience members to be in the crowd, which emphasizes how insecure he is about how big that crowd was. Then one more Trump moment.
2020. This is the best. Nobody's ever seen it. I just saw General Kellogg, wherever he may be backstage. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Look at that general. He's a real general, not like Millie. Not like Billy. Not like Kelly Low. He's a low IQ guy. But this is a real general.
A real general. You're a real general if you're loyal to Trump. You're not a real general if you say the Constitution should be placed above Trump. And then we get over to the Harris remarks. Let me see if I can show you something very relevant. So let's go ahead and do this.
And we have work to do. But we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is joyful work. And make no mistake, we will win. We will win. Yes, we will. And we will win. We will win because when you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. And we know we have an opportunity in this election to turn the page on a decade of Donald Trump, who has been trying to keep us divided and afraid of each other. We know that is who he is, but North Carolina, that is not who we are. That is not who we are.
Exactly. And then the clip I meant to play was here as she's dealing with a heckler. She specified a philosophical, moral, ideological difference she has with Trump.
You know, see, this is the thing, because we know we're actually fighting for a democracy. And unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at the table.
Very different way to interact with those that you disagree with than on Trump's policies, if you can decipher them.
On the other hand, Donald Trump's answer to the financial pressures you face is the same as last time. Another $1 trillion in tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. And this time, he will pay for it with a 20% Trump national sales tax on everyday basic necessities, which will cost the average American family nearly $4,000 more a year. On top of that, you will pay even more if Donald Trump finally gets his way and ends the Affordable Care Act, which will throw, if he were to win, which would throw millions of Americans off their health insurance and take us back to when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was like? Well, we are not
And the slogan there. By the way, something really, I just got word. I was notified in my earpiece of something, some breaking news that is truly horrible to learn. This entire time my collar has been like this, and I apologize that I've been so disheveled this entire segment. And now I'm thinking, was it like that in the last segment? Have y'all been having to see a romped collar? I apologize. It's fixed now. There we go. Thank y'all for your patience. I'll do better. But good stuff there from Vice President Harris. I guess what she said is important too, not just my collar debacle. And I think that one of the defenses from the Trump campaign is, what are you talking about? We're not proposing a 20% sales tax. She's just talking about the economic analyses that say if Trump were to do the tariff proposals he's talking about, it would just be passed down as a tax on consumers, a sales tax for what they're purchasing. And she's exactly right on that. It's just like when they go, we don't do anything about Project 2025. We don't have to believe the denials, believe the words when their actions and the proposals are so clearly representative of the outcomes that Harris is outlining. Let me know what you thought in the comments. And let me know if you're going to forgive me for the caller being so out of sorts. I can't even believe that. Like this. Who goes on to a show in front of all the good people like this? Crazy. And get the bonus show by clicking that join button below.